Hey, what's up people? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all about why your hair isn't retaining length and what you can do to make sure you get those inches. So stay tuned. So let's get straight into it. Why your hair isn't retaining length. And the main reason your hair is not retaining length is because it's not that it's not growing, but it is that it's growing and it's breaking off, which means that you do not see the growth or the hair that you have gained. Hair on average grows about 0.5 to 1 inch every single month. So effectively, you should be able to grow at least 6 inches each year. That doesn't include obviously trims, but it still does mean that you can get a good length on your hair if you manage to maintain it correctly. So let's start off with some of the things that you are doing that are not enable you to retain length. The first one is a huge one. It is over manipulation. This is something I, in my recent years, have stopped doing, and I've seen so much length retention from just switching this simple thing in my routine. So over manipulation is basically styling your hair way too often, and as curlies we can get into a really easy routine of spraying our hair with water every single morning and pulling it back into a style, for example a bun. They do say buns are low manipulation, however I don't believe that this is the case because it requires you to style your hair every single day, and when you wet your hair it is in the weakest state it is when it is wet, so you want to avoid doing that as much as possible. So how do you do that? The main thing you need to think about is styles that you can not leave in for weeks and weeks, but styles that you can do on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, which still allow you to moisturize your own hair in between washes. For example, what I've got in now, some 2-strand twists or braids, but you want to stay away from adding hair and tight protective styles. And the reason for this is that when you've got a protective styling, for example braids with added hair, you cannot moisturize your hair effectively enough with added synthetic hair in. Some people may be able to do this, but some people can't, and I definitely notice that my hair, when I do take braids out, even though I do moisturize it, is still pretty dry. So you want to kind of avoid adding any hair in and just get yourself a nice simple style like twists or braids that you can take out on a weekly basis, wash your hair and redo them, and then leave your hair alone for the full week. This will also help with any shedding or unnecessary hair loss that you might experience. The second one is dryness. So one of the main causes of breakage is dryness. Your hair needs to stay in a somewhat moisturized state. So for me, what I like to do is every other day I will spray my hair with a little bit of water and apply some styling cream to my twists and then seal it with an oil. And that keeps my hair moisturized for the full week in my twists if I do that. The longest I will go without doing that is probably 3 days. The next thing that you need to do to make sure your hair is retaining length and not breaking is having a balanced diet and lots of water. This is such an underrated one because essentially your hair grows from what you put into your body. It takes the nutrients and it uses it to grow your hair, and hair is made up of protein, so you need to make sure that you're eating a substantial amount of protein in your diet or supplementing it with something if you are, for example, a vegan or a vegetarian. But diet is one of the most important factors in hair growth and length retention, because if you are getting all of the nutrients your body needs, then your hair is going to thrive off this. The next one is protective styling. Although protective styling is a really good way of maintaining your hair length and not touching your hair throughout the weeks, it can also be very counterproductive, and that's because they are usually high tension styles which can pull on your scalp. They often don't allow you to moisturize your hair effectively enough, and that means that after how many ever weeks you've got them in for, your hair does kind of get dry and then it may break off. And I'm not saying this is for all people, because some people I know really enjoy using protective styles to grow their hair, But if you're definitely having a problem and you're using protective styling, you might want to look at that and rethink it and maybe use a different low manipulation style such as twists, like I mentioned earlier. The last thing I'm going to discuss is one of the main causes of breakage, and this is colouring / heat damage. So as we know, one of the worst things you can do to your curly hair is straighten it way too often. And I don't mean like once every 4 months or 4 times a year, I mean weekly. So if you're someone who is blow drying your hair on a regular basis, i.e. maybe once every week or once every 2 weeks, and you're experiencing breakage, that most likely will be the root cause of your problem. So you want to limit the amount of heat you place on your hair and limit the amount of colour you place on your hair also, because colour can also be a really damaging thing for especially type 4 curly haired girls. And I'm going to show you what my hair looks like last year in comparison to where it is now. And the main differences in my routine that I have done are switching up my hair products. So I, for example, have switched from Eco Styler, but that is a whole nother topic. I switched from Eco Styler way back. I probably stopped using it about 4 or 5 years ago now, because I didn't feel like it was helping my hair to retain moisture, and I switched to a different gel, a plant-based gel, and that has really helped my hair stay moisturised throughout the weeks. So that is one thing I did. And over the past year, I've definitely been wearing twists, literally majority of the time. That's really helped my hair retain length and moisture. And also I have focused on my scalp care a lot more, so I'll make sure I shampoo my hair every single week, and I also do use a scalp exfoliator and Aztec clay treatments from time to time, just to make sure my scalp is fresh and it is at the best possible state is to help my hair grow. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully I've shared some tips with you that you can implement into your hair care regimen, and if you've got any questions, put them in the comment box below, and I will see you next time.